Welcome back, gang. Mario from the Woodfather here. Today I'm going to get stuck into my second Tools of Autumn build. I have got a piece of Brazilian walnut. It's actually an offcut from my depth gauge last week. Can't waste it, right? It costs a lot of money. And I've also got a marking gauge kit. This is the one that Jonathan Katz-Moses demoed a couple of months ago on his channel. So I had a couple of mates online who bought this for themselves. Then they decided that they're not going to build it right now. So I bought one of them off them, which is really cool. Thanks, guys. The kit looks really cool. Comes with a metal rod, 3 cutter heads, and then a couple of thread inserts, and then a really nice big heavy brass knob. One thing I learned when making this depth gauge is that I really love the look of the aluminium and the walnut. I think it comes out really nice together. However, the knob with the marking gauge kit is brass. Brass looks lovely, but I do prefer the silver. So what I plan on doing is making this marking gauge today. I'll use the brass knob for now, and then hopefully in a week or so I'll be able to find something online and I'll be able to replace this with something that's silver. It honestly isn't a very big build. I think I should be able to knock this out in an hour and a half or so. So let's get stuck into it. And so to make the marking gauge, like I said, I've got this piece of walnut. Then the kit comes with a metal rod, which is tapped on one end. It comes with a screw which fits into that tap, and then 3 cutter heads, 2 threaded inserts. I think it comes with 2 so that you can actually practice inserting one and making sure that you get it in perfectly square, which is nice. And then it comes with a really nice brass knob. The only thing I'm really wondering about here is the brass in the walnut going to look as nice as the steel in the walnut, or the aluminium in the walnut, because I absolutely love this look here. Now, the company that makes the kit also provides an instruction booklet, and it comes with a bunch of different designs plus a lot of information about how to build it. The design that I want to make for my marking gauge is this one here. I really like that curve. I think it's going to fit nice on my hand. So the first thing I need to do is to cut my blank down so that it fits this. I'm not going to cut the curve in just yet. I'm just going to cut it square. One thing I want to point out is that I had to absolutely fight with my printer to get it to print out this picture. It just did not want to print for me at all. So I haven't got it to the right scale. So ordinarily you could just print this out to the right scale and then glue it down on your blank and then cut it out to fit the actual piece of paper for the design. I can't do that, so I'm just going to draw it on myself. I hate printers. My fence is cut to width now, and I've marked out how I'm going to cut the curve. I think that's going to fit my hand nicely. I'm not going to cut the curve just yet, because the first thing I'm going to do is cut the hole for the beam to go through. Then I'm going to cut the hole for the brass thread to go through, which is going to lock that way. And then I'm going to shape it all. So I've got the hole there for the bar to go through. Now I've got the slightly scarier hole to drill. This is the one that goes through the top, and this is where the brass knob is going to fit in. Instead of just drilling the hole for the threaded insert in one shot, I'm going to start off with a pilot hole, and then I'll make it slightly larger. Then hopefully that way I've got a better chance of it being perfectly square. Let's give it a shot. I guess it looks like a hole. So I've swapped out the brad point bit, and I've got a 10mm twist bit in here. Technically I'm supposed to have some 24, 36, 64, so I don't know, some special imperial bit which I don't have the right size, but 10mm is probably the closest that I've got, so that's what I'm using. I'm also only going down to around about here to make sure that it's just enough for the threaded insert, so I'm not going to drill all the way down. Here's the threaded insert. I need to get this basically round about there, but it needs to be perfectly perpendicular. Is that the word? It's got to be up and down, nice and straight, yeah? To make sure it does go in nice and straight and up and down, the guide recommends that you screw in a bolt to the threaded nut. Then when we pop it in this way, that pilot hole that we drilled earlier, that's 6mm hole, that's going to guide the screw so it goes perfectly straight down, and then by the time it reaches the threaded nut, the nut is going to screw in perfectly straight, in theory. Let's see what happens. So I'm going to call that as a kind of half success. It's in there nice and straight, it looks really good. However, you can see how much is sticking out, and that is where it's going to be the whole time. I probably should have, well not probably, I should have put the hole further this way. I think I just messed up that dimension. I'm going to blame the printout because it wasn't the right size. Couldn't possibly be my fault. But anyway, it's still pretty good. If I want to, I can always cut off the bottom 10mm of the brass knob. That way it'll sit closer to the wood. Not sure if I will, because like I've said, I may have mentioned, or I may have cut it out of the video earlier, but I might want to switch this out for something that's steel or aluminium, just because I think I prefer the color. But that's okay. So now it's for the fun part. It's just to shape off these edges, smooth, sand, put it all together, and then I think I'm finished. What a cool, easy project. I like it. Let's go. I thought that was going to be a fast build, but it actually was just Speedy Gonzales. That was awesome. All the edges are nice and smooth now, and I've sanded it up to 220, I believe. The one thing I had to do at the end was I went back and made the chamfer a little bit deeper, just to make sure that the blade is really tucked away when you put it in there, and it is. I was a little bit scared about doing that the first time, but now it's fine. So, it's the best part of the project coming up now. I get to pour some oil all over it. This is going to be fun. It's not the most detailed tool that you can make. It's not super intricate. It's not very finessed, this one I must admit, but it does look nice. One thing that I've bought but I haven't yet received, it's still in the mail, are some little maker's marks. There's some little laser cut circles with the Woodfather logo on it, and I'm going to put that on all of my tools. I'd love to have it to put on this one now, but because of the Easter break, I think I've sort of missed the jump on that one, and it's going to take a few days until they come. Once I get them though, I will go back and retrofit them to the tools that I've made. Wow, that was easy, and now we're done. I'm using boiled linseed oil here. All I'm doing is wiping off the excess so that it doesn't dry sticky. Apparently that's what you're supposed to do. And then I'll come back later on and put another coat on. But right now, I think I'm gonna take a photo or two.